This model is kind of the opposite of the last example that I gave you, because this time we know exactly how many groups. I know that there's going to be two groups. I just don't know how many pieces are going to be inside of each group. So the rules are still the same in that I know that I need to first model the 1 and 6/10 because that's going to be my dividend. So I'm always going to start, that's kind of the easy part, you're always going to start with that very first number, 1 and 6/10. I need to model that. And so I know that this entire box right here represents one whole. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of lightly shade in this whole box. And like I said before, I'm not using my neatest coloring. But you get the idea. So I've got one whole, and then I need 6/10 over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All of these need to be shaded in as well. Alright, now this kind of model I honestly think is a lot easier to do with the base 10 blocks because what I need to do is split them into two equal groups. But since I don't have the base 10 blocks, a lot of times you're going to be working with paper and not with your base 10 blocks. So you've got to come up with another plan. One way to look at this is to pretend like you don't have a decimal point. Imagine that this problem is really 16 divided into two equal groups. Well, that much we know, right? We know what 16 divided by 2 is, and so you can kind of address this problem in the same way. You know that means you're going to need 8 in each one of your groups. So in order to make the model work, what you're looking for is not really 8, you're looking for 8/10. So I'm going to count my tenths and say, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, all of these represent group 1. Okay, but I need two equal groups. So now I'm going to say, okay, I should have 8 more if I did this right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, fantastic. Now I have two equal groups of what? Well, in each one of my groups, I have 8/10. Really important that you put the decimal point. So on the last problem, when we had a decimal divided by a decimal, we got a whole number. This time we have a decimal divided by a whole number, we got a decimal. So I think that's probably the biggest part, is making sure that you put the decimal point when you need it and you don't include it if you don't need it.